13th chapter and the first verse. And David consulted with the captains of thousands and hundreds and with every leader. And David said unto all the congregation of Israel, if it seem good unto you that it be of the Lord our God, let us send abroad unto our brethren everywhere that are left in all the land of Israel, and with them also to the priests and Levites which are in their cities and suburbs, that they may gather themselves unto us. And let us bring back the ark of our God to us, for we inquired not at it in the days of Saul. And all the congregation said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of the people, of all the people. So David gathered all Israel together from Shihor of Egypt, even unto the entering of Hemath, to bring the ark of God from Kirjath Jearim. Verse 6. And David went up in all Israel to Baalah, that is Kirjath Jearim, which belonged to Judah, to bring up thence the ark of the God, the Lord, that dwelleth between the cherubims, whose name is called on it. And they carried the ark of God in a new cart out of the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and Ahio drave the cart. And David and all Israel played before God with all their might, with their singing, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with timbrels, and with cymbals, and with trumpets. And when they came unto the threshing floor of Chidon, Uzzah put forth his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and he smote him because he had put his hand to the ark, and there he died before God. Wow. And David was displeased because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah, wherefore that place was called Perez Uzzah to this day. David was afraid of God that day, saying, how shall I bring the ark of God home to me? So David brought not the ark of God, ark home to himself to the city of David, but carried it aside into the house of Obed Edom the Gittite. Verse 14. And the ark of God remained with the family of Obed Edom in his house 3 months. And the Lord blessed the house of Obed Edom and all that he had. First Chronicles chapter 14, verse 1. Now Hiram the king of Tyre sent messengers to David and timber of cedars with masons and carpenters to build him a house. And David perceived that the Lord had confirmed him king over Israel, for his kingdom was lifted up on high because of his people Israel. And David took more wives at Jerusalem, and David begat more sons and daughters. Now these are the names of his children which he had in Jerusalem: Shammua and Shobab and Nathan and Solomon and Ibhar and Elushua and Ephalat and Nogah and Nepheg and Jephiah and Lishma and Beelidai and Eliphat. And when the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up to seek David. And David heard of it and went out against them. And the Philistines came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And David inquired of God, saying, shall I go up against the Philistines, and wilt thou deliver them into mine hand? And the Lord said unto him, go up, for I will deliver them into thine hand. So they came up to Baal Perazim, and David smote them there. Then David said, God hath broken in upon my enemies, and my hand like the breaking forth of waters. Therefore they call the name of the place Baal Perazim. And when they had left their gods there, David gave a commandment, and they burned with fire. And the Philistines did again spread themselves abroad in the valley. Verse 14. Therefore David inquired again of God, and God said unto David, go not up after them, turn away from them, and come up upon them over against the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when thou shalt hear a sound of going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt go out to the battle. For God has gone forth before thee to smite the host of the Philistines. David therefore did as God commanded him, and they smote the host of the Philistines from Gibeon even to Gazer. And the fame of David went out into all the lands, and the Lord brought the fear of him upon all nations. First Chronicles chapter 15, verse 1. And David made him houses in the city of David, and well, prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched it for a tent. Then David said, none ought to carry the ark of God, but Levites, for them hath the Lord chosen to carry the ark of God, and to minister unto him forever. And David gathered all Israel together to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord unto his place, which he had prepared for it. And David assembled the children of Aaron and the Levites. Of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief and his brethren, 120. Of the sons of Merari, Asiah the priest and his brethren, 220. Verse 7. Of the sons of Gershom, Joel the chief and his brethren, 130. Of the sons of Elizaphat, Shemaiah the chief and his brethren, 200. Of the sons of Ebron, Eliel the chief and his brethren, 80. Of the sons of Uziel, Aminadab the chief and his brethren, 112. And David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priests, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, Joel, and Shemaiah, and Eliah, and Aminadab, and said unto them, ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites, sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up the ark of the Lord God into the place that I have prepared for it. Verse 13. For because ye did not at the first, the Lord our God made a breach upon us, for we sought him not after the due order. So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of the Lord God of Israel. And the children of the Levites bear the ark of God upon their shoulders with the staves thereon, as Moses commanded according to the word of the Lord. And David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be the singers with instruments of music, psalteries, and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and his brethren Asaph, the son of Berechiah, the sons of Merari, their brethren Ethan, the son of Cushiah. Verse 18. And with them their brethren of the second degree, Zechariah, Ben, and Jeziel, and Shemarath, and Jehiel, and Uni, and Eliab, and Benaiah, and Messiah, and Matthiah, and Eliphath, and Mechaniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael the porters. So the singers, Heman, Esaph, and Ethan, were appointed to sound with the cymbals of brass. And Zechariah, and Aziel, and Shemarath, and Jehiel, and Uni, and Eliab, and Messiah, and Benaiah with psalteries on Alamoth, and Matthiah, and Eliphalah, and Mechaniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael, and Azaziah with the harps on Sheminith to excel. And Shadaniah, chief of the Levites, was for a song. He instructed about the song because he was skillful. And Berechiah and Elkanah were doorkeepers for the ark. And Shabaniah and Jehoshaphat and Nethanel and Amasai and Zechariah, Benaiah and Eleazar the priest did blow the trumpets before the ark of God, and Obed-Edom and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark. So David and the elders of Israel and the captains over thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. And it came to pass when God helped the Levites that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Shebaniah, the master of the song with the singers. David also had upon him an ephod of linen. Verse 28. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with shouting, with the sound of the cornet, and with trumpets, and with cymbals, making a noise with psalteries and harps. And it came to pass, as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looking out at a window, saw King David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart.